I've been flying drones professionally full-time since 2022. I'd say I created my dream job, but I didn't always do this. I worked in sales for about 8 years before I made the transition from a full-time 9-to-5 employee to entrepreneurship. In today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. Because honestly, my old job was not the right environment for me to be successful in. Don't get me wrong, I didn't always hate the job, but when you're working for somebody else, your career growth is on someone else's time. I felt like I was ready to progress in my career and I felt like I was being held back. My job at the time was salary, so work dominated my life. Some days I was lucky enough to get home at 5:30 p.m. Some other days I would get home at 10 or even 11 o'clock at nighttime, only to wake up and have to start my day off with a morning call at around 7 a.m. I knew I had to get out. I had coworkers that was on blood pressure medication because of the stress of the job. And honestly, my health was starting to deteriorate. So I'm going to tell you the 5 things that I did after work to move me from working a 9-to-5 full-time toward the path of entrepreneurship. And eventually I was able to make that leap after being consistent by doing these things for a year. The first thing I did was master my craft. You can't have a business without having a product or a service to sell to somebody. Originally, I wanted to do photography and videography. I was using my mom's old camera from 2006 where I was taking photos of youth flag football, and I was getting paid by doing so. That taught me the basics on how to use a camera. I learned all about the exposure triangle, and I took it outside literally every single day after work. Every day, I made it my mission after work to take 100 shots on the camera. That was me putting in the reps. So I'd come home and either go to the park or just walk down the street if it was late enough. And I would just take photos of whatever it is that I could. First off, I was learning how to use the camera and getting comfortable with the camera itself. Eventually, this transferred over into drones because I made enough money through taking photos of the Little League games to where I was able to purchase a drone. And from there, I was coming home and going to the park after work, and I was flying the drone, just making sure that I was feeling comfortable with the drone itself. And then also learning how to use the drone and learning what the drone can and cannot do. What that looked like in reality is that I would commit to going to the park and draining at least one battery on my drone. That means I'd get about 30 minutes of practice time every single day. Some of the stuff that I was practicing was just going through the modes in the DJI app and then learning how to fly smoothly, trying to replicate some of the moves that you see like in quick shots, because honestly nowadays I don't ever use quick shots. I just fly it manually, and then able to use just the skills that I picked up since I started flying to do some of the things that you see in quick shots, and then a few other things as well. That also means that I can make my movements last a long time and still be smooth. The second thing that I did was invested in education. And I know that sounds backwards. Why did I take the time to practice instead of get educated on the things that I wanted to practice? Well, number one, I wanted to make sure that flying a drone and using a camera was something that I actually enjoyed. Once I realized this was something that I actually wanted to do, I started to put my money and time behind it. On top of that, I didn't want to get stuck with what I guess you would call imposter syndrome or analysis paralysis and keep thinking that I needed to be better and better and better before getting a customer. So I wanted to have enough skills to where I could fly for a customer and I deliver quality work, but I also didn't want to say that my work was never good enough to ever put myself in position to get a customer. That being said, education is the backbone of your entrepreneurial journey. Whether you're learning about the industry that you're trying to get into or you're just taking evening college classes, you really need to be educating yourself on a consistent basis if you want to be an entrepreneur. For me, this meant taking the next step with getting serious about being a drone pilot, and that meant taking my Part 107 test. So in addition to the practice, I started committing my lunch breaks to watching videos about studying for my Part 107. And what really helped me was a program that Pilot Institute runs. I'll leave a link in the description. I learned so much from that course. It helped me pass my Part 107 test on the first try. It made studying organized and easy. They even had practice tests. So I took practice tests for about a week before I actually took the Part 107 test, and the practice tests are honestly harder than the Part 107 one. So if you're interested in getting your Part 107, I highly recommend Pilot Institute. That's what I use, and you need your Part 107 if you want to be a licensed drone pilot and get paid to do drone work. Number 3, I became intentional with my time. Obviously, you can tell from the first 2 that I was taking time out of each and every day to study for my Part 107 and get my skills up when it comes to flying the drone or even just using a camera. It was important to me that I made time for the things that I found valuable in life. So I literally put it into my schedule every single day, if it wasn't raining, that I was going to be outside, like flying the drone and making sure that my drone skills were good and I was learning the information for the Part 107 so I could pass it. Personally, I think this is going to be the hardest step for any of us. It's really easy to get locked in until whatever our evening routine is, whether that be just like come home and mindlessly watch Netflix or scroll on our phone or play video games. I had to replace my video game time for the time that I spent educating myself on flying drones or just being outside and flying the drone. That's the thing about hobbies. You can always pick up where you left off when it comes to your hobbies. For me personally, I've been on a hiatus from playing video games right now. I think I played one time in the last 2 months, and honestly, I'd like to do a little bit more of it, but I don't think this summer's gonna shake out that way. The 4th thing that I did was learn about personal finance. You won't be an entrepreneur for long if you don't know how to manage your money. In fact, my first couple of years, I was barely breaking even for the first few months. And if I didn't have my money in order before I left my job, I honestly wouldn't be an entrepreneur today. I would have been forced to go back and find a job. Sometimes in entrepreneurship, you can have the right idea, but you need to give yourself the time to make the idea work. If you can only afford to keep yourself out of having to, go in job search mode for 2 months, that's honestly not enough time to actually build a business and grow a business. So for me personally, I spent the 8 years that I had at my full-time job saving money, so when the time came to actually go out and do this on my own, I'd have the runway to where even if I didn't make a dime in entrepreneurship, I'd be good for, I say the first year, but honestly, when I did the math, it was a little bit more than that. But yeah, I had an emergency fund for at least a year. So they gave me a year of runway to where the only problems that I had were entrepreneurship problems. The only thing that I had to worry about is finding customers. I didn't really have a money problem where I needed to be able to pay the bills with the money that wasn't coming in from entrepreneurship at the time. That meant while I was at my full-time job, I was saving somewhere between 20 and 30% of every single paycheck and just putting it in a savings account. I get my tax refunds and just put them in a savings account. I would save money for what I would say would be a rainy day, but honestly, it was for entrepreneurship, and it really gave me, like I said, the runway to be able to do this full time. Because when I first started off, I didn't really have a target customer in mind, but the more that I talked to people, the more that I shook hands, the more that I found out that there were certain clients that I like to work with, and the more that I honed in on those type of clients, now I know where I can go to find those clients. So those are some of the things that you're not going to know when you first become an entrepreneur. There's going to be a lot of trial and error whenever you become an entrepreneur, and you really have to give yourself the time to make those mistakes, because on the other side of those mistakes could be a business that can sustain you and give you the life that you always wanted to live. That's going to bring me to number 5, which is make meaningful connections in the industry that you wanted to work in. This is the thing that I did not do. I was the type of person that I just wanted to be left alone. I mean, I'm still kind of like that, but I wanted to go to work, do my work, do a great job at my job, and not be bothered with my managers, with my coworkers, none of that. I just wanted to clock in, do a great job, and clock out. And I wanted to enjoy my time away from work. But like I said, my job was salary, and that even reminds me of this one time where I was not enjoying my time away from work. I put in vacation for the first wedding that I ever shot. It was a destination wedding in Jamaica. I had put my vacation in months in advance, and somehow my manager had forgot that I put the vacation in. The time comes for me to take my vacation. I'm like, hey, I don't know why you got me on the schedule, but I've got vacation. I didn't really go into details about my flight being booked or anything like that, but I said, hey, I won't be here on Monday. I dropped the company car off at the wherever we have to drop the company car off. I offloaded all my equipment into wherever it needed to be, and I said I'll see you when I get back. I clocked out of work and hopped on a plane and left the country maybe an hour later, and my manager literally called me until I want to say about Monday morning. That client that I did the wedding for became one of my very first clients when I decided to go full time. If I hadn't made the decision to leave the job and just say, hey, oh, I guess it was a misunderstanding, I'll still be there at work on Monday. Number one, I would have missed out on an opportunity that probably wouldn't have been there whenever my job let me go. So I'm grateful that, number one, I stood up for myself for that. And then number two, that connection really gave me the opportunity to actually be able to work in different types of environments. I found out that I could do content in the niche with the guy that I was working with, but I also found out that that was something that wasn't easily replicated because there weren't a lot of people doing the things that he was doing and that needed the services that I provided. So it was a good learning experience, and it kind of made me realize that I always needed to be looking for the next customer. I needed to be making sure that I was putting myself out there so I could build up a customer base. And I still do that to this day. I'll leave you with a bonus one. Number 6, you're getting more than what you asked for. I learned how to enjoy myself without breaking the bank. I've been making great use of my local library. One of the things that I liked to do when I was a kid was read, so I've been picking up a lot of books lately. I play video games, but I don't play online, so I don't have PlayStation Plus, so I don't have to pay like monthly for that. I pretty much just play racing games, and it's really just me versus myself because I'm just like trying to learn how to get better at it, and it's taking years just being able to like drive a car fast and smooth without like wrecking. And honestly, it's a really difficult skill, especially like driving in the rain. That's one of the things that I was playing on Gran Turismo the other day. I like went from a wet to dry race, and it's not the easiest thing to do. You can just feel the tires slipping underneath you whenever you like try to put the power down. But my job is really like a hobby in and of itself, and I really enjoy like learning all about drones and like different ways to fly them. And I've even picked this little guy up. We're gonna talk about this one at the end of this video, I guess. I could be wrong, but I feel like your business should be fun enough to where you look forward to doing it, even when it doesn't like pay off immediately. So that's what I enjoy doing, and hopefully I get to do a lot more of it in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you for watching this video all the way to the end. It really helps me out. And speaking of drones, I decided to teach myself how to fly an FPV drone, a real FPV drone, in 72 hours. You can find that video right here. It was a really fun experience, but it did not end well. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something that you can use to create the life that you want to live.